Previously on Johnny Jigs TV.
We are headed to the Yankee Cap on a 4-day adventure. Hooked up, baby!
The bite starts out hot with a great showing of mutton snapper, scamp, and red grouper. Johnny gives a solid rundown of the jigs he brings on the trip, and the boys polish off the day with a great sunset bite.
Day 2 of the Yankee Cap Ironman halfway ledge. What a day. Captain Greg had us in about 250 feet on the halfway ledge, and that dawn bite started to produce right away. And interestingly enough, it was ham bone snapper after vermilion snapper after ham bone snapper. We were tripled up, quadrupled up, those of us jigging up near the pulpit. There were times where every guy up there was hooked up.
Oh, you got a ham bone. You got a monster vermilion.
It doesn't look like it in the video, but we are scorching out there. You can feel your shoes heating up and your feet sweating, but there's no chance that I'm gonna leave the rail and go inside in the air conditioning when the bite is turned on.
So I'm pitching the 160 gram green and gold and red supersonic. And I'm over here in the shady side of the boat. So I'm pitching out and jigging right by the boat, doing short pitches off the bottom, and something just snatched it. I can almost visualize the snatch. We'll just see what kind of fish it is. Hopefully it's got some red on it, and it does. Looks like a mutton.
Nice.
That's like the biggest deal about on the Yankee Cap is putting your time in at the rail and being there when the bite turns on. And obviously you can't be there every second, and there's a chance that you're gonna miss a bite, but the more time that you put in on the rail, the more likely you are to be there when the bite turns on and it's hot. And if you're lucky and you got a friend that really likes you, they'll go down to your bunk, they'll come get you while you're sleeping and let you know that the bite is turned on. I'm not so lucky, my friends aren't that great, but you know, it would be nice. I'm just kidding.
Nice hot for every bite. The yellowtails of the deep. Now for today's quick tip.
You might be thinking about what type of rods you want to bring on a Yankee Cap trip. I'm going to go over mine, and what I bring is very similar to what Johnny, Will, and Pete brings as well. The first one is the coolest of the bunch, which is the Temple Reef Innovate 8'0". They also make a 7'8", which is a firmer rod blank. But this is the 8'0" that myself and Johnny uses. This is rated for 100 to 400 grams. It's a 2-piece rod, so the butt end is very, very firm and gives you great torque when you're pitching your jig or when you're fighting a fish on the initial strike. And the top section is extremely flexible. This gives you very good control over the jig when you're pitching. It also gives you very good control over the fish when you're hooked up. And the length also allows you to get up and away from the boat and possibly even pitch the jig further away from the boat, which is going to improve your chances of hooking up, being away from all the clinking and clanging going on in the boat and just hitting virgin waters and new fish. Will likes to use the 7'8". He likes a firmer presentation, and he's been really, really enjoying and talking a lot about that 7'8" Innovate. The next rod that I'm gonna have with me is the Temple Reef Levitate 683. This is their Power 3 rod. It is their firmest of the 3 that they offer. It's really a flagship slow pitch jigging rod. It provides excellent action over working your jig through the water column. Here in the waters of Halfway Ledge and just out past the Dry Tortugas, I want the power of a 6.8-3 to be able to effectively handle and fight and land quality big fish, which is why I'm bringing my 6.8-3 as my secondary rod. I'm also bringing spinner, and this is a Chaos rod SPC 1025. It's got a nice little bit of flexibility in the tip, but what I'm primarily going to use this for is casting, sinking stick baits, or casting metal jig lures out from the boat. It's very common to have mahi, dolphin school around the boat during the daytime or definitely at nighttime, and the possibility of a wahoo coming within casting range as well. It happened last trip in February, so I keep one of the Maria gear Mira sinking stick baits rigged up on my spinner. I did replace the treble hooks to have inline VMC hooks. I think that's going to improve my ability to hook up with a fish, but absolutely have one of these spinners for those topwater fish when they come to say hello.
Chris and I were sitting in the galley, and we're just discussing that morning bite that was so hot with the vermies and the yellow eye and the hand bone snapper. And Captain Greg
asked us if we were ready or prepared to.
If we go deep, can you guys handle it? And Chris and I look at each other like,
to which we excitedly responded, yes.
Hell yeah. Like we were fired up. Queen snapper number 1, snowy grouper, yellow edge grouper, and all of these delicious deep water fish that come up pre-refrigerated.
Snowy grouper, guys. A little snowy action. Loving this deep drop.
And go right into the ice box to come home with us and on our dinner plates. I'm talking about just some of the most delicious eating snapper and grouper in the ocean.
Getting the majority of my queen strikes, probably 5 to 6 cranks off the bottom, which might have been about 20 feet off the bottom. So if I was bouncing the bottom, I was hooking up on a tile or a snowy or a scamp. But once I brought the jig up a little bit, it seems like that's where the snapper were schooling and congregating, and you locked into a queen snapper, they are a drag puller. These 8 to 10 to 12 pound queen snappers fight like a fish that you want to fight.
Here we go. Kick that fish. Woo! Yeah.
For us guys that are slow pitch jiggers, to drop a jig down 700 feet, of water and reel a fish all the way up, that's what makes it epic for us.
And this day, it just seemed like from start to finish, the bite was absolutely on. And I just remember after we made our final push back into 250 feet for the evening, we were just overcome with satisfaction and joy, and we could have ended the trip right there, you know, and been totally happy and satisfied. However, since it was an Ironman, we had a whole nother day ahead of us too.
Have been so good to me, so fine and so gentle. I came around and now I see your face so sentimentally.
Getting off the boat at the end of the trip and just watching all of the, you know, the mates hand out our fish and our coolers filling up really was the icing on the cake. And it's almost bittersweet because it's sad to leave, but we know we got to get back to, you know, Johnny Jigs tackle shop, and we got to get back to, you know, life back at home. But thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And don't forget, jig on.